What up, everybody? Welcome once again to Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment, and this is your combat show by guys that love combat sports, and I am your host, as always, Craig, here with my co-host,
your anchorman of aggression, Michael Johnson.
Hell yeah, and we have a loaded show for you today. We have no previous UFC event, so we're gonna rock with a ONE FC event.
Absolutely, first good martial arts event of the year.
And I will say, first one I watched.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start watching them more because it was an exciting event. ONE FC, A New Tomorrow, was Saturday, January 7th, and it was explosive. We're gonna jump right into the prelims
In Bangkok, Thailand.
Bangkok, Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where it was.
Yep.
That's where we do it. In the prelims, Han Zihao going up against Mehdi Zatot Ma.
Yeah, good fight to start it off in the Super Series kickboxing or Muay Thai, I believe, right there. The small
you know
gloves.
what? I didn't get to see the prelims.
This was a Muay Thai fight, I believe. Close fight. Great way to open the show.
Yeah.
Split decision for Mehdi, but only because Han was too aggressive. He found himself, throwing a lot of punch combinations, but winding up in Mehdi's clinch, and he used the clinch to neutralize him and get a good split decision victory. Good back and forth.
Okay,
Yeah.
dope. All right, and then we have Jia Wen going up against Shnekgatagga?
Shinechatga.
Zoltsetseg.
Zoltsetseg.
Nice.
Yes, straight out of Mongolia.
Okay.
He looked like Genghis Khan reborn. Like,
Oh, man.
like
you just showed me the fight. He
probably has some DNA from Genghis Khan, but big power. 55-second fight. He had said, Shinish Shotgun had said that before the fight he had called it an under 60 seconds that he would KO Ma Wen, and he did it in 55 seconds with a huge overhand right.
To the top side of the forehead.
Like in the forehead. You don't knock people out hitting them in the forehead. Just crazy, raw, natural power from that dude.
And the dude, like, you could tell, like, it was like not your typical knockdown. Dude went down slow, like his body just completely gave way on him.
Tried to heel hook on the ref real quick.
That was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Like, when I saw him go for the heel hook, it was crazy.
And that was a MMA fight. I love how they blend them, and switch back and forth.
It's so cool because you don't know what, like, unless you're paying. And like, I didn't know what the card was before I watched it. So, like, I'm getting a Muay Thai fight, then I'm getting an MMA fight. It's back to Muay Thai.
Yeah, and in the Muay Thai fights, they use the 4-ounce gloves in the ONE championship, which I love. And you don't know whether they're going to be fighting MMA or Muay Thai until the fight starts.
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
What about the fanfare too? Like the big ramp coming down, more like a WWE introduction.
Bro, that might be the best part. So for those of you who have never seen a ONE FC, it's like a cross between UFC and WWE.
Yeah.
First of all, they announce each fighter. They come to the top of the ramp.
The woman's voice who announces them when they get to the top of the ramp. Awesome.
On point.
I love it.
On point. Mm-hmm. They come out, they show themselves off, and then they get when they get to the final main fight, they stand and they face off in front of each other. And then before each fight, they come down the ramp like a WWE champ.
Yeah.
Get to the top of the ramp, they do the little thing, and then they come down. So much showmanship before a fight. They get rid of all that bogus stuff, but they give you some showmanship at the night of the fight.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. The next fight we have is Victor Pinto going up against Adam Noy.
This is over to kickboxing Super Series. They came out with the gloves, so I was like, okay, must be kickboxing. Great fight. Victor Pinto gets knocked down early with a left high kick, early in the first round, and somehow survives for the whole decision. Gets it back and keeps it real close, but Adam Noy was too busy, and I think Pinto was hurt the whole time.
Yeah.
I think he just fought the whole rest of the fight.
He managed to keep himself in the fight, but couldn't take over.
I think it was more impressive for Victor Pinto to be able to fight than Adam Noy to get the win, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, and then to end the prelims, we had Raymond Magomedov.
Close enough.
Magomedov going. I always have the Magomed stuff, man. It messes with me. Going up against Joey Perotti.
Joey Perotti, the only American fighter on the card.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing that he showed was fortitude. Oh, Magomed. From the opening bell, was just putting it on him. Perotti would try to clinch. This was an MMA fight. Perotti would try to clinch to survive the strikes, and he was getting elbowed and kneed so viciously. It was like some of them recent UFC fights, like with the chance for encounter fight, or where you just can't put these guys away. It was one of those, and finally, Perotti's shooting for a takedown to try to escape getting kneed in the face again, and Magomed Daliyev gets that nasty crunch guillotine, standing up. Yeah.
That's a tough one, man. That one hurts more.
Yeah, he didn't tap, though. He went to bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Perotti.
So, true fortitude.
Yeah, Perotti with some fortitude. That's a tough dude.
All right.
No skills to talk about.
No skills. All right, well, let's hit what ONE FC likes to call the prime card.
They got to have their own way.
Listen, their own way is awesome. Like, I love everything about ONE FC. I am officially a fan. I will be watching more events. I'm ashamed that I have not been watching
fantastic.
more of it.
I mean,
you've been telling me about
everybody.
it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I'm officially on it. They started off with an awesome matchup between Liam Harrison and Mohammed bin Mahmoud.
Yeah. To be honest, bin Mahmoud started good. He looked busy,
good. Yeah.
Throwing good body kicks, good leg kicks. He's landing the jab straight down the pipe.
It looked like it was going to be his fight from the first couple seconds.
Right. You look at Liam Harrison like, what are you waiting for? But, maybe a minute into the fight, Liam Harrison shoots a left hook, and it just misses Mahmoud's head, and you realize, like, oh, wow. That's some big power, maybe he's just waiting.
He's waiting for the hand to drop.
He knows he only needs that one shot. At 2 minutes and about 35 seconds in, he lands that left hook viciously, drops him face down, super knockdown. He gets up by like the 6 count. The ref starts it back up. Of course, Liam Harrison swarms him.
Knew there was no time to be wasted.
Swarms him so hard. Ends up hitting him with some tight elbows because they're locked up tight, and Mahmoud's trying to clinch him. Drops him again with the elbows.
It was a fast drop.
Right. That should have been called there.
Yes. I was actually surprised the way he went down that it wasn't called.
Right. The ref lets him stand up again to get punched a few more times and stops it without him even dropping again. He stopped it,
because he was just, and then when he stopped it and pulled him away, the dude dropped like a timber tree.
He went down. But I mean, he shouldn't have stood him up the second time. I think he should have called it after that elbow knockdown, because when he stands him up, the criteria for a person to continue, it's the same as boxing. You see the ref rub the gloves against his stomach. He wants you to put pressure into your gloves so he knows that your arms aren't limp.
Yeah.
When he put Mahmoud's arms up, they fell down limp. That should have been it right there.
Yep.
And then the second thing is walk towards me. He wants to see you take a step and see if you're wobbly. And he says, walk towards me. He didn't move an inch, and he says, okay, let's fight. And I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
It didn't matter. I mean, Liam Harrison was just going to kill him anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he did stop the fight for punches, but like I said, man, face down.
Yeah.
He went right down to the ground as soon as the fight was broken away. But pretty awesome performance from Liam Harrison.
Great finishes on this whole card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another good one in this. That was a Muay Thai fight.
Yep.
In the featherweight MMA match, we had Thon Lee going up against Ryogo Takahashi.
Takashi.
Is it just Takashi?
Just Takashi. I don't think it was Takahashi. I got Takashi here.
Okay, cool.
Either way, great on the first name, Ryogo. Spot on. Thon Lee. Awesome fight. I didn't catch the minute in this one. I think it went almost a full first round. They're going back and forth. It did go a full first.
Did it not go to decision?
No. This was a devastating finish again.
Which one was was it the next fight was the one that went to it? Because I know there was a fight that went to decision. I think it was the next one.
Oh, on the Prime card?
Yeah, there was.
You know what? I don't believe that I watched the whole Prime card.
Okay, I know which fight it is. So go ahead, continue on.
Okay, so Tan Lee and Ryogo, they go back and forth for the first round. Ryogo had a tight wrestler's posture. You could tell Tan was long, landing strikes. He had dropped him with a right hand, and Takashi pops right back up, and then Tan's swarming him, and it was great the way he knocked him out because he was actually had the single plum with the right hand.
Yeah.
And he was holding the back of his head when he lands a devastating straight left.
Yes.
Pulls it into the left hand, puts him out cold.
I do. Oh man.
Yeah, because he was holding the back of the head.
Yeah. It was a great knockout, great performance. Tan Lee looks so familiar. Did he fight in the UFC?
I don't know,
because
but
I recognize him.
He does look familiar.
Yeah, man.
I thought the same thing.
So either he has a fight. Either there's a fighter in the UFC that looks like him, or Tan Lee's done something besides fighting.
And maybe it's the camera because they're in the ring and not the cage, but they looked huge for featherweight fighters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they don't cut weight like that in the one championship. So I
think it has something to do with
the camera angle or something.
I think it has something to do with the distance that they are from them.
They looked enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next fight. Bantamweight Muay Thai fight. So it was this fight. It was because the fight I saw wasn't MMA. Sangmani Sathian going up against Kenta Yamada.
Oh, see, this was a decision that I missed. Actually, there was this for Sam.
Yes, it was Sangamani. So in this fight, the one thing I remember about this fight is it was the Million Man leg kick.
Oh, really?
Sangmandi he landed so many kicks to this dude's rib cage.
Oh, was he throwing them like 2 at a time, 3 at a time on purpose?
He was just throwing them and throwing them and throwing them and like I'm like, bro, he's kicking you in your rib cage.
Are you gonna stop him?
What? Yeah. Block.
Right.
Block. You know what's good, and it's not like he was going left kick, right kick, left kick, left.
Yeah,
kick.
and he would do 2 and 3 in a row.
Yeah,
and I was like, what is going on here?
Like with no respect or regard.
No regard.
Like he there was no fear, there was no nothing. He was like, I'm just gonna keep throwing this.
Yeah, because he wasn't countering it, you know. And you've seen him the frustration building too, and he just didn't do anything to stop it.
I give this dude Kenta. I give him a lot of props. You know, you decided you was gonna go the Rocky route
and just
eat every single piece of contact that came to your rib cage, but you stood tall and you did eat those. I think he did drop down one time in the fight, but he ate a lot of leg kicks, right, and they all landed in the same spot. But he gets Sangmani gets the decision unanimously, and it was
I do
obvious.
remember that one now. Yeah, from the repeated 2 and 3 kicks and one after the other.
Brutal, absolute brutality. Now. In a weight class I was unfamiliar with, but I believe it is straw. Is it technically straw? All right. So what they call straw weight is atom weight.
Atom weight.
And it's an MMA fight. Stamp Fairtex going up against Pooja Tomar. Yeah. And this fight was pretty excellent as well.
Yeah. Like I've been telling people to watch the One Championship, watch Stamp Fairtex in general. 21-year-old fighter. Mm-hmm. She is the one atom weight kickboxing champion and as also the one atom weight Muay Thai champion.
Wow.
Now this was her 4th MMA fight total and her 3rd stoppage victory out of 4 wins. She's incredible. Had 1 decision.
That's incredible.
And
to be Muay Thai and kickboxing and to bring the fight to the ground.
Whereas Pooja Tomar was the highly touted wrestler coming into this bout.
Wow.
And she messes up. She's the one that goes for the takedown here, Tomar. But Stamp keeps position during the takedown, ends up taking her back right off the bat.
And gets into a full mount.
Right. She's beating on her. She's trying different submissions. And I think, if she was more accomplished on the ground with her skills, then she would have just put her away earlier.
I think if she had more ground game, there was a moment, you'll remember it. She's got the full mount. Tomar's got her arm straight up to the sky.
Yeah.
If that's Ronda Rousey, instant armbar. I thought that I'm like, oh, she's about to get her in the armbar.
And one of her submission victories that she has already came from a situation like that. And I was surprised she didn't go for it. But she said in the post-fight she wanted to beat her up and show the ground and pound. You know?
Okay.
And she definitely did.
She absolutely did.
She goes for the choke for a little bit, can't get it. You know, Tomar with good defense, and then decides to switch to the full mount.
But
starts throwing strikes. You know, Tomar has to turn her back again, and then she's beating on her from behind.
That's the time I'm talking about. She gets her back. Tomar, hands like this, neck and lift. She kind of like presses up, puts her neck in extreme danger.
Yeah.
And this chick said, "Move your arm out of the way. I need to punch you." And I'm like, "You got the rear naked right there." She said, "No, I want to punch her in the face."
It definitely looked like she was keen on the ground and pound victory here.
Yeah, she wanted to switch it up. She wanted to do what she wanted to do. She wasn't trying to take no easy
What about
road.
the entrance for Stan Fairtex coming down the ramp?
Dancing at the top.
She's loving every second of it.
Oh, man. She's having a great time.
I just can't wait to see more of her.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
She's gonna be an awesome fighter to watch, man. I'm excited. And then we have the main event, the rematch between former champ Jonathan Haggerty and current champ Rod Tang Jitmuangnon.
Yeah, Jitmuangnon is 100% accurate.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm winning today.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Jitmuangnon. Rod Tang he's a cut above. I mean, this Muay Thai here in the One Championship is the best I'm seeing around the whole world. There's no promotion that can touch it.
Okay.
This level between these two, I mean, this is flyweight.
Yes.
There's no faster strikers in the world. I mean, you know, boxing, kickboxing, it don't matter. This, you know, like, and the amount of power that these men can possess at this weight class is crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. I feel bad for Haggerty. You know, I thought he was really going to do a lot better. The first fight went a full 5 rounds, and they just beat on each other. It was a split decision.
Really? Okay. Okay.
And you thought you were going to get the same here, but we've talked about it plenty of times. Even when it comes to mixed martial arts, when you have 2 elite strikers that want to strike each other, either it's a 5-round war or it's a quick finish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And pretty much Haggerty was finished in round 1.
Oh, he was absolutely finished in round 1.
Rod Tang had a specific game plan, and it must have been something he seen from the first fight, and he poured his heart and soul into hurting Jonathan Haggerty to the body. And
for that leg kick to the body put him to his knees.
Yeah, and just the liver damage in the first round. It was like a minute and 10 seconds in. Drops him. You see him grimace. You know already that it's trouble. In a Muay Thai fight, if you drop a fighter to the body, it's over. You know that.
Oh,
as the guy who dropped him, it's over. You could stand up if you want. I'm gonna hit you there again, and you're not gonna be able to continue. You know, and even when you know he starts counting Haggerty while he's on the ground, Rod Tang turns and starts screaming because he knows I got him.
It's done. It's done and over with. It's just a formality at this point.
He recovered as much as he could in that first round. Anybody else, I mean, if it's not Jonathan Haggerty, he would have been killed. I mean, hats off to the fortitude.
Yes.
Because then he still starts landing. I think the second round was much better for Haggerty. He was doing them quick stance changes.
Yeah, trying to get out of the way.
You noticed?
Yeah.
You know, switching the stance real quick, and he's landing them teep kicks that he throws. He loves the teep kicks, and he was starting to get the distance, and because that's what he needs. That's his weapon.
That's his bread and butter.
Distance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were definitely the announcers were definitely preaching the fact that he was doing too much standing in front of him, and he needed to use his. I
thought the second round was pretty good though.
Yeah.
You know, he started bringing it close. The quick stance changes I thought were fantastic. You know, the footwork was just like next level, but he was still hurt. I mean, he catches a kick from Rod Tang, goes for the sweep on Rod Tang's back leg, and he jumps over it. Did you notice that part?
I did not notice that.
So sick,
I must have missed that one.
It was like so Matrix. Like Haggerty's holding the kick, and he goes to sweep the back leg, and Rod Tang jumped
Oh,
over the
yes,
kick.
yes.
Yeah.
He jumped
and
over.
Haggerty just let the kick go. Like, okay, like wow. Even he was surprised.
I see what I'm up against now.
It was crazy. That's Matrix style.
Yeah, Rod Tang came in his what appeared to be, with no experience watching him, he came in his best self.
Absolutely. The third round, I mean, he's coming forward a lot. You know, he wants to put him away. And, Haggerty ends up catching a thumb in the eye. It was inadvertent. You know, they gave him a stoppage to give him some time. You could clearly see the damage from the thumb, but just bought him some more time. It didn't really matter. The body
Just
shots
delaying the inevitable.
from Rod Tang really started piling up. He takes another one, goes down. You see it in his face, like, oh man, you know, he tries to sit and take a breather. He waited for the 8 count. You could see that.
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
absolutely.
And that's a strategy when you're hurt to the body. Sit on your knees until that 8 count, then stand up, you know. And but then Rod Tang just swarms him again, catches him one last time, and Haggerty goes flat on his back. In the replay, you could see the grimace is so bad. He probably got a broken rib in there.
Oh,
And,
without a doubt.
and
How do these dudes not have
The
broken
refs waved it, and Haggerty was like, yeah. He even gave the ref a thumbs up
Yeah.
from the ground, like, yeah, I'm done.
Yep.
You know, I can't get up.
body shot?
Ugh, devastating.
All right, so a great ONE FC event. Definitely
Fantastic.
one to check out. ONE FC could be watched on the Bleacher Report as well as the ONE FC app, which you unfortunately cannot get on Xbox.
Yeah.
You have to do the Bleacher Report, which only gives you the main event. All right, so let's talk about some news.
Yeah,
We
let's
got
get
some
into
stuff going on in the UFC. Excuse me. A fight that just got announced today. I'm excited about it because it has, you know, a fighter I really like going up against a guy I thought would have got a higher ranked opponent. Kevin Lee going up against Charles Oliveira.
I do believe that Lee, you know, after the big knockout of Gillespie, you would have thought he got a higher opponent. But I like this a lot because
I like
Oliveira is a steamroller right now. He is crushing
Yeah,
people.
he's on a tear.
And I think that this fight is great for Kevin Lee. He wins this and he goes right up to
Yeah, because the name Oliveira just will skyrocket you up. And that
Absolutely.
fight's going down
Either
on March
way,
14th.
I mean, if Oliveira wins this, it puts him way up because of Lee's win over Gillespie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great fight.
Oh, man, I'm excited. You know I love Charles Oliveira.
That's a banger altogether.
Yeah, Kevin Lee. He we like him, but there's something about him that we hate.
Yeah.
But his new transformance.
Always
looking
loved
great.
his fighting ability.
Yeah,
you know,
he's just nasty.
absolutely.
So in that March 14th card, I can't remember who's on it, but that's looking like a real
Is that the
dope card.
Corey Anderson card?
I think it is the Corey
Yeah.
Anderson card. I think we got some good fights going on in that one, so I can't wait to analyze that fight.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Anthony Pettis suing the anti-doping agency for a drug test injury. You said you know what happened.
Pretty weird. I mean, I read the story in full. He's claiming the fight with Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
In the pre-fight, they asked him for a urine sample. He provided one. They came back and told him it was too diluted from his rehydration from after cutting weight.
Yeah.
So he waited an hour, provided another sample for him, and he's claiming that he cut his hand on the urine receptacle. So on the bottle that USADA specifically uses for urine tests,
Yeah.
he cut his hand.
So user error.
It's what it sounds like. How do you cut your hand on a plastic bottle? I mean, I'm sure it's plastic.
Yeah, it's got to be plastic unless they're making bottles out of razor blades.
So unless it's got like a big jagged edge on it. But he's claiming that it was a decent enough cut that he couldn't warm up for the fight against Nate Diaz. So he said he was not able to do any warm-ups.
So you didn't prepare for 6 weeks for the fight.
But I mean,
You relied on the warm up.
I mean, warming up is a big deal. You got to get warm. But I mean, he could have warmed up without hitting pads. I mean, you could still warm up.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. It's pretty weird story.
Sounds weird to me.
It definitely sounds like a user error. How do you
User error.
When I was reading it first, it said that he had cut and then it was ... on the, and I was like, he cut on the bottle. What did he cut his dick on the bottle? I was like, oh no. I would sue for that.
I'd def sue for that. That ain't user error.
No.
All right.
I don't know. That's a weird one.
This piece of news, I don't know how I feel about it because we know how we feel about failed drug tests. Jessica Penn is disputing her drug test because basically she fears at the age of 36 that this suspension basically ends her career, which is probably accurate.
I did read into this, and so why are you testing positive?
Yeah. Why, if you want to continue fighting at 36, stop using drugs.
And I don't really get how she's saying that, because she's saying that USADA is ruining her career. They're trying to enforce a 6 month suspension on her, I believe.
6 months?
What you crying about?
She probably wasn't even going to fight in 6 months.
I don't understand.
Nobody knows who you are.
Right. I bet
You're 36.
If we looked back at her past fighting record, I bet you she hasn't fought in the past 6 months. So what are you crying about? Yeah.
I don't like you anymore, Jessica Penn. I didn't even know who you were.
I mean, I don't like failed drug tests anyways. No. I will stick up for a fighter if it's USADA's fault. You know what I mean? If it's a stupid positive, absolutely.
100%.
But not a blatant thing.
Nope.
Not when you're all. And not once in that story did she say, "Oh, I didn't do that."
Yeah. No.
Or if it's from a supplement that had something we didn't know about, or
Why are you picking on me for cheating?
Right. Pretty much is what she said.
I'm saying, come
You're
on.
going to ruin my career by punishing me for the crimes I committed.
Yeah. It's absolutely terrible. They're terrible over there.
Okay.
All right. Some devastating, sad news. A fight we have been excited about since the moment we heard about it, and even before that, when we talked about it. Yeah. Since Dana White stole our idea, which we want you to steal every idea that we have for fight matchups.
I'm fine with that. Absolutely.
Only fight matchups, though. Don't steal the show.
No.
Bring it on. Don't steal it.
Right.
But Robert Whittaker out on UFC 248 against Jared Cannonier for yellow belly syndrome.
What? For yellow belly syndrome?
Yellow belly syndrome.
As in he pulled out?
As in he's a chicken.
Oh, my God.
It says personal issues, not injury, not death in the family, but personal reasons, which makes me think scared to get kicked in the face and knocked out by Jared Cannonier.
But, I mean, he signed the contract to start with. That's odd. I gotta look into that more, because Whittaker ain't scared.
Whittaker's chicken.
No way.
He's chicken.
I can't agree.
He was gone for so long.
I cannot agree with that.
I mean, when he was supposed to fight, oh boy.
And he
went out with an injury.
Oh, yeah, with his intestinal disease that he had to have like 3 surgeries for. Yeah, that was legitimate.
It probably was. But after this, you're going to back out of Jared
Personal
Cannonier.
reasons, though. That's fishy.
It is fishy.
That could be anything.
I'm telling you, I think he got yellow on his belly. That's how I'm feeling about it right now.
I usually call when it's for undisclosed reasons.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Undisclosed personal issues.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm saying. It says undisclosed. The actual words used were undisclosed.
That usually makes me feel like yellow belly syndrome.
So I'm saying. He went home to lay some eggs. This is a chicken.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, Reaper, because I don't believe that of you. We'll have to look more into that story.
We'll see as the news progresses.
Because it's months away.
Yeah.
So, what is it that's happening in a couple months that he can't do it?
That's what I'm talking about, bro. It's yellow belly syndrome. All right. Enough about chickens. Let's talk about a fight that I can't wait to see. We thought this girl was going to get a different fight, but this fight is just as exciting. Aspen Ladd is they're eyeing, UFC is eyeing Aspen Ladd versus Juliana Pena.
Yes, I seen that they were looking at that.
Looking at it. Yeah. It's not set, but they're looking at it. Even though I think Juliana Pena should be next in line because she was already in line to go up against Amanda Nunes, this would be the fight to decide which one of the two of them is next.
Right, because then it would clear up the quick stoppage from Jermaine Durandamy for Aspen Ladd. That's still a questionable one there. And
Aspen Ladd does have a win.
That was a number one contenders match, her and Jermaine.
Exactly. So I love this fight. I hope that they can make it.
Great TKO by Aspen Ladd last fight out. Yeah, so
For someone we didn't know who could TKO people.
That's going to be a good one.
Real good one.
I can't wait to see her scream at Juliana Pena.
Love it. Demetrius Johnson.
Yes.
To challenge for Adriano Moraes' belt in the one championship.
Fantastic looking fight. I mean, we'll dive into the matchup when the event comes up. But yeah, I love it. I love to see DJ still doing his thing at high level. The flyweights in one championship is no joke. He had a hard time getting through that Grand Prix. He was not fighting tomato cans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he was fighting, some of the top fighters in the world, and it was hard for him to claim that Grand Prix belt. And the champion's no joke.
There it is.
That's good stuff.
I can't wait to see that fight. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but Greg Hardy to face Jorgen De Castro March 28th.
I love it. Jorgen De Castro, we seen with the big knockout, the step back knockout. I forget who he was fighting.
I can't remember who
it was an up and coming heavyweight, but Jorgen De Castro
was it the Hawaiian dude
with big power? It was the other Hawaiian dude, not Tai Tuivasa, but Justin Tafa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had the same exact tattoo.
Yeah,
Tuivasa
exactly.
and Tafa.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he put Jorgen De Castro with a short left hand while stepping back. Real power. And he's a solid striker. That's a hard fight for Greg Hardy.
There it is.
But Jorgen De Castro called for that matchup.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I think it's an exciting matchup. Yeah.
You know.
I know I breezed by this, and I think we breezed by it again, but I'm actually excited to see Jacare Souza face Uriah Hall, UFC 241 back at middleweight.
Absolutely.
I think this is actually an excellent matchup.
I think Jacare realized, 205 was not for him. He just had a bad string of matchups. It might be his time. We'll see what happens in this one. But,
exactly.
This will be the telling one.
Yeah. This will let us know if he should continue to fight or either move on to a lesser promotion.
But I don't care if Jacare got one arm. He's still a hard opponent for a top level mixed martial artist. And he's got really
great ground game.
Incredible ground game.
I feel like underrated and underappreciated ground game.
Because nobody wants to go there with him.
Nope.
Anybody that beats Jacare, they beat him on the feet.
Exactly. Josh Emmett, unfortunately, I love Josh Emmett, out on UFC on ESPN January 25th due to an injury.
Right.
Not yellow belly. I think I breezed by this one, but Ryan Hall, one of the great
Uriah
talents.
Faber product.
Yeah. He came from the Ultimate Fighter. Ended up being the champ by default.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Saul Rogers versus what's Connor's boy's name? The dude who's in bare knuckle, bald headed, the Irish Russian or whatever. He fights in bare knuckle.
Lobov. Artem
Lobov.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Artem Lobov versus Saul Rogers. Saul Rogers ends up getting deported because he lied on his visa application.
Okay, then.
And that was a fighter, man. If he would have came to the UFC, man, he would have did some damage. He had excellent wrestling, great stand-up. But Josh Emmett excuse me, my bad. Ryan Hall, former Ultimate Fighter finale on a tear, built up his striking and kicks and punches, but has excellent ground game.
Oh yeah.
It's Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? And when people when he grabs a hold of your leg, you're terrified.
Yeah.
But he can't. He says the top 10 fighters will not fight him. So he wants fighters who aren't afraid. He's calling for Jose Aldo or Frankie Edgar, and I like it
because they'll fight whoever.
Yeah, they'll fight whoever.
I like that.
I'd like to see him go up against a legend.
And why not go for the big names?
Yeah.
The guys in the top 10, like you said, why wouldn't you want to fight Ryan Hall if you're a top 10? That doesn't make sense.
I think
if I'm number 10,
people are terrified.
Yeah, if I'm number 10, I would take that fight. Absolutely.
And he's trying to get ranked. If he's not, he's trying to get ranked.
Yeah.
We definitely talked about Paige Van Zandt going up against Amanda Ribas.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that underway, and now let's get into this UFC pay-per-view.
Let's dive right in.
All right, UFC 246, Cowboy McGregor, Saturday, January 18th at 10 p.m. at the T-Mobile Arena. And let's start. This is a great card, man.
Yeah,
Fully loaded. We're gonna jump right into the women's flyweight division in the early prelims. Sabina Mazo, 7-1, going up against the 8-3 JJ Aldrich.
Yeah, Sabina Mazo's 1-2 in the UFC.
1-2. Why
Yeah.
is her record 7-1?
I swear she was 1-2. I swear she had 2 losses in the UFC.
I'm gonna look that up while you talk about her.
Well, I know she lost to what's her name, Mirna Moroz, and she got a win last time out. So maybe she's only 1-1.
I think it's got to be 1-1.
I thought she had 3 UFC fights. Anyways, her last fight, Shayna Dobson, who we know, she looks like everybody's auntie. Remember? She lost a decision against Mazo last time. Decent fight.
Yep.
JJ Aldrich had the loss against Macy Barber, but since then she did get a decision win against Lauren Muller, like I was saying the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Quality decision. So both of them coming from the loss-win format. I mean, JJ Aldrich is 5-2 in the UFC overall, a little bit more
5-2.
experienced.
Yeah.
You know.
She's an excellent fighter, real crisp striking.
I feel that they're selling her kind of short after that last win against Lauren Muller to be all the way out in the first fight in the early prelims.
I feel like I can't even, like, I see her picture and I feel like I don't even recognize her. Mazo versus Dobson.
That was the last fight.
Yep. And then she got a 3rd-round decision against Moroz.
She lost that, though,
She
right?
lost that. So, yeah, she's 1-1.
Oh, that was it? Okay, 1-1 in the
2 fights.
UFC.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Who you got?
I got to go with JJ.
You gotta go with JJ?
Yeah, that was a quality win against Lauren. She's really putting the combinations together as of last fight. And, yeah, Sabina wasn't too impressive against Shayna Dobson, you know.
Can I be honest with you? I'm kind of feeling the left side of the page again.
Yeah.
So
it seemed to work for you that last
It did
time.
work a lot. I'm going to go with Sabina. You know I like that low loss record. I like to see people
I don't
with
know
low
about the
loss.
left side on this one.
You know what? There's some fights that the left side could do me dirty, and I might have to switch some things up. But right now, I'm liking the left side to begin.
But yeah, I like JJ, and I think that was she was unlucky facing Macy Barber, but I think she's that type of fighter that needs to build up experience, and she'll continue to grow.
Absolutely, I like her a lot. We'll see what happens in this one. In the bantamweight division, Brian Kelleher, 19-10, going up against the 6-2 1-0 contest, Ode Osborne.
I never heard of this dude, Ode Osborne.
Me neither.
But I'm very excited. He's got 7 finishes.
Wow.
What's his overall record?
It says 6-2 with 1-0 contest.
I got 7-2, but I got 6 finishes in round 1 by this dude.
Maybe 1-0 contest, something happened. Maybe that one contest that maybe he does have 7 wins.
No, you know what? I was reading up about it.
Yeah.
It was a win. It was a loss that they changed to a no contest.
Oh.
Because the other dude was doped up.
Oh.
I believe when I read the story about it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, 6 finishes round 1. Ground beast, they say.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got the ground game.
Uh-huh. Brian Kelleher.
Yep.
This matchup doesn't really make sense to me. Hasn't fought in 13 months.
13 months.
2 stoppage losses before that. One to John Lineker and another to Montel Jackson.
Wow.
I don't know why he's matched up with this kid, but perhaps they think that Kelleher will be back in form, and they've seen something that,
He's
matches up good.
He's got a 500 record, actually just under 500.
That matches up good against Osborne, but I don't see that. I think the up-and-coming kid is going to wash over this dude.
I think I just switched to the right side of the page.
Old Osborne for sure.
All right, and then to headline the early prelims, which might get bumped up to the prelims because we have a canceled fight in the early prelim. I mean, in the regular prelims. But light heavyweight, Aleska Kamur, 5-0, going up against the 9-2 1-0 contest, Justin Leddit.
Yeah, good fight here actually. Kamur coming off the Contender Series. is a boxer with some heavy hands. He's got 4 KOs, 3 in the first round.
Wow.
Trains with Stipe Miocic.
Okay.
Justin Levitt, he's been out for the last 11 months. And before that, this is another one that's it's like a guy on a downswing versus an up-and-comer.
Yep.
Before the 11 months he was out for injury, he had bad losses to Alexander Rakic, who we love, and that Johnny Walker spinning back fist that knocked him out in 15 seconds. Yeah,
that's a bad start. Well,
and then he was out for 11 months, and this is his comeback fight against Kamer with the three finishes in round 1 in training with Stipe.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one for Justin Levitt.
Alexa, however you say his name.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now let's go into the prelims with a good fight.
Do we not have Tim Elliott here in the early prelims? Or is he in the regular prelims?
He's in the regular prelims in my card.
Okay.
I think he might have got bumped up just because of the whole cancellation
because of the
thing.
Chaz Kelly and the Grant Dawson cancellation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, lightweight division, Drew Dauber, 21-9, won no contest, going up against the 11-2 Nasrat Hakparast. There we go, Hakparast.
That was close. I thought you were going to get that.
I thought I had it.
Drew Dauber, 6-1 in the UFC. Yeah. He was a contestant on the Ultimate Fighter 15.
Wow.
So he's been around a while. I like to go back to at least their last 2 fights.
Yep.
To show us what kind of form they're in. His last 2 fights, he had a submission loss to Beniel Dariush, who's incredible, and he got a KO win last fight against Marco Polo Reyes.
Yes.
Which is a quality opponent.
That is a quality opponent.
And it was a quality knockout, too. And, maybe the record doesn't say, what kind of form he's in.
Hey, we talk about it all the time. Sometimes you take bad beats. Sometimes you fight some guys that weren't in your wheelhouse at the moment you fought them. But look at Nate Diaz, man. His record looks stupid.
Right.
But he be putting down dudes all the time.
Nasrat is 3-1 in the UFC overall. He's got 2 wins in a row. I forget who the second one was. He's got 2 KOs in a row, but last one was against Joaquim Silva, and the one before that, it's not coming to me.
I can't remember
That's
either.
aggravating me, but he's on a tear. I love this dude. This is a great fight.
Yeah, I like Nasrat in this fight.
I gotta go with Nasrat for sure.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take that.
I can't put faith in Drew Dauber with the up and down.
6-1 UFC record. That's terrible. All right, in the flyweight division, the men's flyweight division, we got Tim Elliott, the legend, 15-9-1, going up against the 10-0-1 Askar Askarov.
I love this dude Askar just because of his name.
Yes.
Great ground. He got a little unlucky in his debut against Brandon Moreno. They fought to a draw.
Yep.
I think,
which was so terrible.
I definitely think that Askar won that fight, honestly.
Okay.
Especially with the top control and the groundwork. But Tim Elliott, we all know what happened to him last time. He's never been the same since the fight with Demetrius Johnson,
the thing about him, though, is, he's always been an exciting fighter.
Yeah.
Even in the fight against Demetrius, he was just a firecracker on the ground, constantly moving.
The scrambles are incredible, and I think that could be great in this fight because Askar's ground is incredible.
Yep.
And, Elliott will not sit there and let
Elliott's
you dominate him.
Super unorthodox, one of the most unorthodox fighters ever.
Yeah. He had the bad submission loss last time to Davison Figueiredo, but that was just a picture-perfect guillotine, and he left his neck up. He knows that.
Oh, yeah.
He is not going to do that against Askarov because that'll end the same way.
Exactly. So it looks like it could be a good fight, but
It's a tough one to call, but
I'm going to go with Askarov.
It's hard to put money on Tim Elliott.
It really is. He's kind of, he's just one of those guys. You put him in the ring because people like to watch him fight.
I'll watch him anytime. Against anybody.
And I'll be excited to watch Tim Elliott fight. And then in the featherweight division, Andre Fili, 20-6, going up against the 10-1 Sodiq Yusuff.
I like this fight quite a bit.
Me too.
Andre Feely, who Max Holloway says is the hardest hitter he has ever faced.
Oh, wow.
I like that stat.
Yeah, man.
That's something that, goes in his stats. He's 7-5 in the UFC. Wins versus Miles Jury, Shaymar Moraes, and a loss versus what's his name?
Max Holloway at the very least.
Yeah, but then Michael Johnson.
Oh, Michael Johnson.
Was
Ooh.
his last fight at when Johnson tried to come down to featherweight, or did Feely go up to lightweight? He must have went up to lightweight.
I don't think Michael Johnson would drop.
Yeah, I don't think he could make that. But yeah, that was the loss. I think was that before. I think that was before Shaymar. Yeah, the win versus Shaymar Moraes was his last fight.
Okay.
And Miles Jury was before that, and the loss to Michael Johnson was before that, I think. Anyways, Sodiq Yusuff, bone-crunching killer, 3-0 in the UFC.
Love him.
Last time out was a round 1 KO against Suman Mokhtarian. Fantastic fight. He's got wins over Shaymar Moraes with a decision, and a KO in over Gabriel Benitez in the first round.
Yeah.
That was a killer one too. So that's his 3 fights in the UFC. And boy, he's a bone cruncher.
I mean, he's killer.
The big hooks, like all he does is throw vicious power hooks.
He's just a sniper, man.
I don't see no jabs. I don't, like he just wants to take your head off with punches. And Feely hits hard as nails too. Like that's a good fight.
It's gonna be a great fight.
But
I gotta go with Sodiq.
Yusuff. Yeah,
I gotta go with Sodiq.
That's my boy. I'm gonna keep pulling for him for sure.
All right, and then in the women's flyweight division, the
very excited.
The main fight of the prelims, Roxanne Modafferi, 23-16, going up against the undefeated 8-0 Macy Barber, who wanted to fight Paige Van Zandt for some reason, but gets Roxanne Modafferi instead. I'd almost be more excited.
That's a better opponent to face.
It is a better opponent to face.
You got a former title challenger here. You know what I mean?
Former tough enough finalist.
She competed on the Ultimate Fighter twice. Technically,
Really?
She was on the Ultimate Fighter 18 and actually lost in the first round.
Oh,
against Raquel Pennington.
Wow.
Yes, and then they brought her back for the Ultimate Fighter 26.
Yes.
Yeah, and made it to the end and fought.
Technically, she won. She was another one of those fighters who made it in on a technicality.
She made it to the semifinal round, lost to Sajara Eubanks.
Correct.
Sajara Eubanks
injured.
Couldn't fight Nico Montana, and
Roxanne
steps in. Nico wins. Becomes the first flyweight champion. But Modafferi did challenge for the title. Since her title loss, she is 2-2. She got wins versus
the Shevchenko sister.
She got the win over Antonina Shevchenko, and the last fight she lost to Jennifer Maia, who's a
Excellent.
killer. Right. Could this be her downswing, or could she swing back up? Modafferi's like a Tim Elliott.
She's an unknown.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna get from Modafferi. Yeah. She's such an experienced fighter, and Macy Barber comes in the favorite. She may be the favorite, but Roxanne
by far has the experience. I mean, from the former Invicta champion, she's fought most of the UFC roster in Invicta or UFC.
Yeah. She just got so many fights under her belt.
It's a crazy amount of experience. Macy Barber, we got her whole UFC record here. TKO in the second round against Hannah Cyphers. TKO in the second round against J.J. Aldrich. TKO in the first round against Jillian Robertson. That's the extent of Macy Barber's UFC career.
Still impressive, though.
I don't know how many women at the flyweight level have power like this.
Correct.
Her boxing is real crisp. She has real hip and shoulder turn when she throws them hooks, and Jillian Robertson didn't know what to do when she was getting hit. She didn't want nothing to do with
no part of it. No part of it.
Modafferi is not gonna wilt under the pressure.
Nope.
This is exciting. This
wait.
is the first real test for Macy Barber here.
Absolutely, I agree with you. All right, let's get into this main card. We only got 10 minutes
left. Who
left.
do you got, Roxanne?
Oh, I got Macy Barber.
Yeah, I'm going Macy
Barber. All right. In the lightweight division, Anthony Pettis returns 22-9, going up against the 16-2 Carlos Diego Ferreira.
Anthony Pettis 9-8 in the UFC.
Wow.
Former lightweight champ.
Yep.
Last 4 fights, he lost to Chiesa. Oh, no, he won versus Chiesa, submission. TKO versus Tony Ferguson. And,
he knocked out.
And then the Wonder Boy fight. And then the loss to Nate Diaz.
Yep.
So all in all, in the last couple fights, not too bad. 2-2 in the last 4.
Knocked out a big name, but in a fight where he was getting the crap kicked out of him, and he found a way to win.
And then, with his hand cut in the Nate Diaz fight.
Oh, boy.
Who knows what kind of difference that made.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, he's going up against, Carlos Diego Ferreira, who's on a tear. 7-2 in the UFC with 5 stoppages.
Wow.
He's got some weight issues, though.
Oh, really?
He always seems like his last fight, he came in 2.5 pounds overweight, had to submit, 30% of his purse, and that's the second time he's done that.
Well, let's hope he's got it together.
I don't think so. I think this is the resurgence of Anthony Pettis.
Okay, I'm going to go with Carlos in this fight because I don't think Anthony Pettis has wins in him anymore. In the women's strawweight division, Claudia Gadelha, my girl, 17-4, going up against the 11-3 Alexa Grasso. This is going to be an awesome fight.
I love it. Grasso with probably the superior boxing in this matchup. Gadelha with the wrestling advantage for sure.
For sure, but she's worked on her hands. The last fight, she only used hands.
Looked fantastic in that win too, and very patient, and showed a veteran mindset. She's 6-4 in the UFC. She's had some bad luck against the big names.
Yes. I mean, 2 of her losses, Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Twice.
Another loss to the former champ, Andrade.
Yeah.
And who's our other loss to? Maybe was it earlier on?
Yeah, I think it is. She got a loss to Nina Ansaroff.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Partner of Amanda Nunes.
Correct.
Yes. I haven't seen her fight in a while.
No, she just fought. Remember that fight?
Did she?
Yeah, where we thought that she was going to get ran over, but she just put on a hell of a performance. I forgot who she beat, but she beat a good fighter.
Really? Well, in Gadelha's last 3, she's got the decision win over Carla Esparza. She got the decision loss versus Nina Ansaroff. And the big decision win last against Randa Marcos.
Correct.
That was the good decision she had there, all on the feet. Fantastic. Alexa Grasso, 3-3 in the UFC. Loss versus Suarez. Win over Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Okay.
And last fight out, she lost a split decision to Carla Esparza, but I think that was bullshit, personally.
Okay.
I think Alexa won that fight.
All right, well, who you got?
I got to go with Gadelha.
Me too.
I can't bet against
I'll never bet against Gadelha. All right, let's bang out these last 3. We only got 6 minutes. Heavyweight, Alexei Olenek, 57-13-1, going up against the 8-3 Maurice Green.
That's a good-looking record for 71 fights.
Yeah, it is, man. That's an excellent
57
record.
wins. Jeez.
Maurice Green coming off a bad knockout.
He fights Alexei Olenek fights once a year. He's 6-5 in the UFC. KO loss versus Overeem. KO loss versus Walt Harris, and submission loss versus Gordon Ryan last. So coming off of 3 losses in a row. Maurice Green was on the Ultimate Fighter 28. He's 3-1 in the UFC. 3 KOs. His last one though was a KO loss to Pavlovich.
Yep.
So I still got to go with Green, though. I mean, he lost to Pavlovich, but it's either he KOs you or he gets KO'd.
You know? Same thing happened to him in the Ultimate Fighter.
And he only got KO'd once by Pavlovich, who is a sniper.
There it is. The fight we've been waiting for. We get put back on the card after being canceled due to a Holly Holm injury. The women's bantamweight division, Holly Holm 12-5, going up against the 10-7 Raquel Pennington, and I'm super excited for this fight.
Super excited. Holly Holm, 5-5 in the UFC. Another one like one fight per year. You know,
and it's also the fact that she like was all winning and then literally just like lost every
she
fight.
had like 3 losses in a row after
I don't think she's won a fight since beating Ronda Rousey.
No, since Betch Correia.
Oh, Betch Correia.
But since then she lost. I think the losing streak came after that. But decision loss versus Cyborg for the title for featherweight. Decision win against Megan Anderson. KO loss versus Nunes in the last 3 fights.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It probably puts her in good standpoint against Pennington. Pennington from the Ultimate Fighter 18, 7-4 in the UFC. KO losses versus Amanda Nunes. Big decision loss versus Jermaine. And decision win against Irene Aldana last out.
Damn, she beat Irene Aldana.
I think that Raquel is in the better form on the upswing.
I think she is on the upswing. I think she kind of found her way in the UFC. Besides those 2 fights, I've seen her get a couple other good victories. And even though it was at the end of her career, that win against Miesha Tate, Miesha Tate didn't want no part of Raquel Pennington.
That's very true.
And I'm gonna choose Raquel Pennington.
And I think Raquel Pennington's cool as hell because the KO loss versus Nunes. That was the first fight with 2 openly gay people in the UFC.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
I think that was great. I'm going to go with Raquel.
Raquel getting that.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Holly.
All right, let's take these last 3 minutes to talk about the fight of the night. Welterweight division. Donald Cowboy Cerrone, 36-13 with 1 no contest, going up against the returning 21-4 Conor McGregor.
Conor 9-2 in the UFC. I mean, starched the whole featherweight division.
Blew through it.
Beat up some lightweights.
Yeah.
Then
No. Beat up a lightweight.
Beat up a lightweight, sorry.
Yeah.
And then, has the fights with Nate Diaz. And then, loses to Khabib after the Mayweather thing. He's all over the place.
Yep.
However, we know what skills he has. We know that left hand is crazy, accurate, crazy dangerous. His striking is incredible.
Precision and timing.
Right. We'll see what we get after 2 years of him being off. But I'm so excited to see him back. Donald Cowboy Cerrone, 24-10 in the UFC.
Wow.
His last 3, decision win, Iaquinta. TKO loss versus Tony Ferguson, and the KO versus Justin Gaethje. Not in the best form.
But not going up against low-ranked fighters.
Right,
either.
never is going to be going up against a low-ranked fighter.
I mean, you're talking about the champ and the guy who is most likely going to be fighting for the title soon enough.
Right. Cowboy has nothing to lose here. I love this fight for him. I think
Just
losing this fight doesn't hurt his stock whatsoever.
Nope.
He gets a huge payday to fight, and he's got a legitimate chance.
Let's be honest. Can anything really hurt Donald Cerrone's stock at this point?
No, I don't think so.
One of the truest and most baddest dudes in the game.
Right. You ain't never taken nothing away from him.
Nope.
Can he land one of them quick snap high kicks early? Will he take Conor down and use the grappling advantage, which I think he does have?
Can he extend the fight to go after Conor's gas tank?
Right. I think the biggest parts are Cowboy's notoriously a slow starter and Conor's notoriously a fast starter. He comes out the gate strong.
Yeah, just swinging for the fences.
And Cowboy takes damage early. Yeah. I think that plays a big factor, and I think I got to go with Conor.
I think I have to agree with you. In the ring, Conor's my boy.
From an unbiased standpoint.
Yeah.
But
Conor's my boy.
I obviously like Donald Cerrone much better.
Donald Cerrone's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I would not be upset if he won.
Not at all.
I would be through
so
the
happy.
moon if he were to knock out Conor McGregor and get an actual knockout. Like Conor McGregor's only been submitted in the UFC. He's never actually been knocked out.
What does that give you?
Oh man.
My God.
If Cerrone knocks him out, not only does he get a huge payday, even bigger than if he were to lose, but his name just rings out. He can retire off that.
Even more so.
Yeah.
I would.
I would too. I would absolutely.
If I would knock out Conor
Especially
McGregor
if it's
as
a clean
Cowboy,
knockout.
I would take it and say, see you later.
Yep.
I'm going to get on my horse and ride into the sunset.
Damn right. And Donald Cerrone says he wants to beat Conor at his game, so he wants to stand. He doesn't want to take him to the ground. I cannot wait. UFC 248, Cowboy versus McGregor. 246. Yeah, 246. Sorry.
folks.
Wow, I got all excited. Said the wrong number. UFC 246, Cowboy versus McGregor, Saturday, January 18th. Do not miss this card. It is going to be so excellent. And until then, we'll see you in the octagon. Have a good night.